convention. So joining me now, Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus. Reince, good morning. Good to see you this morning.
Hey, Martha.
Hey there. So is that true? Does the RNC not want the ability to bring in a white knight? Are you going to try to make sure that the rules prevent that?
Yeah, there's nothing to bring in. We're not looking to bring in anybody. What we're looking for is a nominee, and the nominee has to have a majority of delegates supporting that person. And when someone gets a majority of delegates, they're going to be the nominee of our party. It's the same thing that Abraham Lincoln enjoyed. It's the same thing that's going to happen in 2016. I think a lot of this is a lot of rhetoric. In the end, a majority is going to rule, and that is what's going to happen, and nothing's going to change that.
All right, but there are those who want that majority to be drawn from what happens at the convention. And they think there are people that would be more palatable across the board to the majority, and they want the option to bring in an outside person. Are you saying that that will not happen, that the rules will be in place so that that cannot happen?
Well, look, I mean, we have bound delegates. What that means for everyone out there is, in a particular state, if you get delegates awarded to you, in most cases, in almost 95% of the cases, those delegates are bound to you. Even if the person that's voting might not like
on the first round.
On the first round, and on the second round, there's a little bit less of a binding mechanism, and on the third round, there's even less after that. So if a candidate gets a majority on the first ballot, it's over. I mean, so there's really it's a lot of conversation about how many angels are dancing on the head of a pin, but in the end, it's going to be determined by the delegates.
We have a little bit of a delay, so I just want to tell everyone at home that I'm trying not to step on you, and I apologize if I do that. So you're saying that you believe that somebody's going to have 1237 on that first round, do you?
I don't know. I mean, but it doesn't matter, because I'm going to accept the results as to whatever they are. The point is, if it takes one ballot or it takes 5 ballots, the nominee of our party is going to be the person that gets a majority of the delegates on the floor of the convention, or even sooner, perhaps.
And will that person come from the 3 remaining people who are in the race, John Kasich, Ted Cruz, and Donald Trump? Will it be one of them?
Right. I've said it over and over again. I find a scenario other than that to be highly unlikely. So it's very unlikely.
All right. In terms of, so the rules will not change to allow a white knight to enter. Is that something that you could say from the meeting that you're in right now? There's no move to change the rules so that somebody could come in.
No, I've led the way on this, Martha. I'm not only saying it on shows like yours as much as I can. I've called for the RNC Rules Committee to not make any major changes.
But some of them aren't happy with that. They say we're the Rules Committee and we want to change the rules.
Well, I'm sure that you'll see. It'll get done. I'm running the committee, and I don't believe that we're going to have any rules changes coming out of the meeting this week.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that the Never Trump crowd or the Never Trump movement is fading?
I don't know. I don't even think about it. I'm not measuring it. I have no idea. All I know is I've got a job to do in running the party, having an open and fair convention, and making sure that I try to correct the record as much as I can, in responding to 24/7 so-called experts on television that don't know what they're talking about.
So when you look at the possibility of a contested convention, because, but if the Never Trump movement fades, right, if it is melting, as there are some reports right now, that's going to make it very difficult for anybody but Trump. Because if he goes in there with the most delegates, even if he doesn't have 1237, then he's going to get it. Is that right?
I don't know. You have to ask their whip operation. I mean, what their number is going to be, nobody knows, and what the delta is, nobody knows.
If he falls short of 1237, but he has the most of everybody, do you believe that he will be the nominee?
I don't know, Martha, because if you have a plurality, that means that the field has a majority, right? I mean, that's what that means. So that means that there's work to be done to get to a majority, and I can't tell you whether or not he's going to get to a majority. We'll find that out in 90 days, or maybe sooner.
All right. You know, in terms of there are some who obviously question Donald Trump's feelings about things that Republicans generally agree on, and one of those is raising taxes. I want to play this soundbite for you this morning and get your thoughts on it.
Do you believe in raising taxes on the wealthy?
I do. I do, including myself. I do.
Is that going to be a problem for him within the Republican Party, do you believe?
You have to ask him about that. I mean, I'm not going to opine on individual policy statements of the candidates. It's up to them to make their own decisions and then either benefit or suffer from the comments and positions that they take. But I'm not going to get in the middle of that.
All right. Reince Priebus, thank you very much. I know you've got your work cut out for you. They're going to be there till Friday night or Saturday morning working on all this, and we thank you very much for being here. We look forward to seeing you next time.
You bet.
You bet.
He's the man of the hour, right?
Yeah, it's got a big
and
job
will
to do,
be
right?
for a couple months.
For sure.